afternoon, everyone. It's our pleasure to welcome you all in our webinar series. And today, lucky us, all the attendees are females. So I think that this is a quite interesting topic for females. Our topic today is a bit a different perspective to tackle the climate change is from the music point of view. And our esteemed speaker today is Professor El-Bahrawy. He's Professor Emeritus of Water Resources Management at the Faculty of Engineering at Ain Shams University. And he has executed many national and international projects with organizations within Egypt and in Canada, USA, Germany, Sweden. And he has a vast research and training experience in the areas of water resources, hydropolitics, computer modeling, operational research, education, soft skills. And actually, it's very interesting to attend such new topic about music with Dr. Ali today. So Dr. Ali, the floor is yours. And kindly, dear attendees, if you have any questions, please write them down in the Q&A box. And Dr. Ali will get back to you at the end of his presentation. Thank you, Dr. Ali, please.
Thank you so much, Dalia, for this introduction. I am very pleased to meet the audience. The title of my presentation is Music and Climate Change. And the contents, we are going to talk in general about music and advocacy, and then talk about green music movement called Reverb, and go in detail into the music industry climate impact, which will be first part of the presentation. The second part is a beautiful, interesting tour, listening to climate-related classic music, and we are going to listen to 4 pieces. One of them is Strout Quintet, the other is Elegy of the Arctic, then Let Them Not Say, and we will finish with Vivaldi's 4 Seasons. And every one of the chosen climate-related classic music is a different performance conveying a message to support climate change and environmental issues. I got the idea of the presentation from a radio program called Crescendo, aired on Nugum FM on Saturday from 10 to 11 p.m., presented by Professor Rasha Tumum, a professor of music at the Faculty of Music Education, Helwan University. The name of the program itself is a musical expression. I put it here. And crescendo means a gradual increase in the volume of musical message, and even the symbol that is used to in the musical notes reflects the gradual increase in volume of music. Johnson is a person and is part of a growing number of musicians who are using his celebrity to cast a spotlight on climate change, pollution, species loss, and other environmental perils. His point is music and advocacy have a long history together. He told the United Nations Environmental Program, as a music community gathered around an artist or music event, fans have a powerful voice to promote environmental issues such as climate action, plastic waste reduction, and food security. The NGO leading the green music movement since 2004 is called Reverb. Reverb also is a sound and musical expression. And down there in the lowest part of the slide, you find that some of the achievements of the group were 5.7 million raised environmental causes, more than 6,000 concert events greened, and we will know what green event is, and more than 4 million fans took actions, 287,000 tons of carbon dioxide were eliminated, and more than 4,800 non-profit supported the movement. Reverb itself, artists themselves can play a key role in progressing environmental advocacy. Since 2019, UNEP has partnered with non-profit Reverb which works with musicians, organizers, venues, and fans to green the live music industry. Since its founding in 2004, Reverb has helped to eliminate over 288,000 tons of carbon dioxide equivalent, as mentioned in the previous slide. Here is the main concept. While the music industry doesn't have the biggest footprint of all industries in the world, it may have the biggest reach of any industry in the world. Mr. Tanner Watt, the director of Reverb, he said, if fans will change the way they dress or the way they comb their hair because their favorite artist does, maybe fans will adopt simple solutions to environmental crisis. What is the impact of climate industry? Climate waste from physical music mediums and merchandise. The old school music recording mediums, including vinyl and CDs, are again garnering popularity with the new generation of music lovers. A single record made of plastic can take up to 1,000 years to fully decompose in a landfill. Also, its production consumes large amounts of energy. This is the impact. Carbon emissions from live tours and streaming, data centers and cloud services need power and cooling. As a result, they consume 100% of global electricity and generate over 350,000 tons of greenhouse gases emissions per year. The carbon footprint of our gadgets, the internet, and the systems supporting them account for 3.7% of global emissions, and this equals the airline industry's share. Therefore, it's a significant amount. This beautiful graph shows artists tour worldwide on planes and transport their equipment by trucks and buses, and the fans follow them. The result is an excessive carbon footprint. Live music generates about 400,000 tons of greenhouse gases annually in the United Kingdom alone. Moreover, today the average touring DJ emits 35 tons of CO2 annually. This is over 17 times higher than the recommended carbon budget of approximately 2 tons of CO2 per individual. The graph compares between three CO2 generators: the top 100% EU household air travel and the 100 least traveled DJs and the 100 most traveled DJs, and you can see the difference in CO2 emissions. How to reduce the music industry's climate impact? By reducing the climate impact of music is possible through coordinated efforts from all involved groups. What are the groups? We start with musicians. Musicians and bands should stop launching albums on all possible physical mediums to expand their profit streams. Furthermore, they should reconsider the entire live touring process from organization to execution. For producers and industry organization, music companies, producers, and promoters have the most extensive resources to drive change and should be the engine behind the music industry's decarbonization. In December 2021, Sony and Warner started leading the example by signing a climate crisis pact. The alliance pledges to reduce the music industry's climate impact caused by artists touring worldwide and requires all members to commit to the net zero by the year 2050. Fans and individuals, music lovers should embrace greener ways of communicating music in terms of physical assets. This means owning less and aiming to recycle, reuse, gift, or resell their album copies. Fans should also pressure their favorite musicians to change how they sell their music, tour, and produce merchandise. Streaming giants, which is the last element to reduce climate change impact, These companies should migrate to greener data centers and increase the use of renewable energy in their operations. As example, the Google Cloud Platform states that it is carbon neutral and intends to power all of its data centers with clean energy by the year 2030. In 2019, Spotify migrated to the Google Cloud. As of 2020, Amazon Web Services, the home of Apple Music, powers 65 of its operations with renewable energy. Now, we are going to move to the second part of the presentation, where we are going to listen to 4 musical examples. The first is a musical video made specially for COP27 in Glasgow. It's a short and clever video produced at the time of COP27 to urge people to act now. It uses a piece of music called Trout Quintet, written by Franz Schubert, to imitate the sound of water and fish and how the world will look like if we don't act. Quintet is a group of 5 people playing music or a musical composition for a quintet. But the word trout is the name of a freshwater fish of the salmon family. This goes to COP27, and it's dedicated to all scientists and COP27 participants. Unfortunately, COP27 in Sharm el-Sheikh, they didn't have any musical. Listen.
Desert and chaos. COP26, act now.
After we had this very strong message by the quintet, if you count the number of musicians, they are 5. I'm going to tell you about Mr. Franz Schubert, and we are going to listen to part of his beautiful music. Mr. Franz Peter Schubert was an Austrian composer of the late classical and early romantic eras. Despite his short lifetime, he left behind more than 600 secular vocal works, 7 complete symphonies, sacred music, operas, incidental music, and a large body of piano and chamber. Because I want you to do some simple exercise with me, the music that I'm going to show for Schubert will include the musical notes. In the musical notes, for people who don't know anything about music, no problem, because you can see when you see the musical notes, they are characterized by a key signature, which indicate which notes are to be played as sharps or flats in the music that follows, and a time signature. 4x4 is not a type of a car. It means we have 4 beats per measure. And then the G clef is telling the type of the clef for the music, and the musical notes are represented by these notes here. This is the note head, this is the stem and the flag. This flag, if we have 1 flag, means it is half of the duration of the note. If we have 2 flags, it is 1/4, and so on. Here we have 4 notes because this is 4/4. Then you can see that Mr. Schubert is holding the trout in his hand, and then you will see the music notations I am talking about. Before we start, you can do this nice mental exercise by listening to the music and relate it to the musical notations. Here we have 3 string instruments, viola, violin, and violoncello basso, and a piano. The piano has a brace like this with 2 lines, because each line is responsible for the playing of one of the 2 hands, because piano is played with 2 hands. When you hear the music and look at the musical notation, you can differentiate between the voice of piano and string instruments, and at the same time follow the speed and the different tunes represented by the musical notation. I hope you can do that. I hope you enjoyed the music. We are going to send a different message. It's called Elegy for the Arctic. It's a short video showing the composer and player Ludovico Einaudi playing piano in the Arctic, with the Arctic in the background, It's an interesting piece of music sending a strong message to save the Arctic. I just wanted to tell you the difference between Arctic and Antarctic. One of them the Arctic Sea has declined over the past 5 decades. This is alarming. And the Antarctic Sea ice has increased, but recently it declined. Here is Mr. Ludovico. I hope you enjoy the music here.
We can see it, but we cannot hear it.
Is the video working?
The video is working, but without a voice.
No, the voice is coming now.
Okay. Yes, it's working now.
After Mr. Ludovico Einaudi, I'm going to tell you something about him. He is still alive. He was born in 1955. He's an Italian pianist and composer, trained at the Conservatorio Verdi in Milan, began his career as a classical composer, later incorporating other styles and genres such as pop, rock, folk, and world music. Yeah, the next presentation is different from the previous two, and it's a poem written by Jane Hirschfeld. It's called "Let Them Not Say." It became an anthem in the environmental movement. For Earth Day in 2021, the Scottish eco-activist composer Chris Hutchings used it in making this beautiful and harrowing music video. The video shows photos and video clips of climate change impacts along with the poem and singing. It conveys a strong message for environment protection. Can you see it all right?
Yes,
Yes.
it's working, Dr.
this slide shows you the poet and the composer. I will stop here and show you the slide that shows both of them. This is Jane Hirschfield, the award-winning poet, and this is Mr. Chris Hutchings, the composer who is based in Edinburgh. The last piece of music is Four Seasons, very famous one, and the video shows the detrimental effects of climate change with voiceover and Vivaldi's Four Seasons musical in the background. It has a high-tech music manipulation most of you will enjoy, and it sends another strong message to warn people about the adverse effects of climate change.
Climate change has almost eliminated the distinctions between the seasons. Occasional violent storms of summer are now unpredictable natural disasters. Vivaldi's murmuring streams are left either flooded or dried out, and many of his festively singing birds have been silenced by extinction. For years, scientists have warned us of these changes. The youth has taken to the streets in protest, but no one seems to be listening.
Global warming, a lot of it's a hoax. It's a hoax.
So we, the musicians of the NDR El-Bahrawy Orchestra, strongly believe that music can make the impossible possible. That's why we decided to make climate change audible. With the help of sound artists, software developers, and music arrangers, we collected climate data from 1725 until today. The data was then programmed into an algorithm that rearranged Vivaldi's Four Seasons to reflect the change. The resulting piece is something no one wants to hear, but hopefully will make people listen up. On November the 16th, 2019, the Four Seasons premiered to the world at the El-Bahrawy in Hamburg and live on Facebook. Conducted by Alan Gilbert, the orchestra performed the altered seasons, making a powerful statement which cannot be unheard.
Now we heard the altered Four Seasons, but now I am going to make you listen to the original Four Seasons written by Antonio Vivaldi. He is an Italian composer. A group of 4 violin concertos, each of which gives musical expression to one season of the year. And these were composed around 1718 and 1720. The Four Seasons is the best known of Vivaldi's work. I'm going to show you the musical notation again, but it's called allegro. Allegro is another music expression, and it means lively, spirited, because the word means in Italian cheerful. Therefore, I invite you to enjoy the cheerful actual Four Seasons. This was our last piece of music. To summarize, this presentation shows you the relation between music and climate change through 4 different examples, sending strong messages to protect the environment. After going through the climate impact of the music industry, I added these audio clips of the masterpieces by the composers, including Proud Quintet of Franz Schubert, Elegy of the Arctic of Ludovico Einaudi, and Let Them Say by Chris Hutchings, and the last one was 4 Seasons by Antonio Vivaldi. I hope you enjoyed my presentation.